Imam Ali, peace be upon him, offers such a profound reflection in Hikmat 24 of البلاغه. He warns us in his deeply compassionate way to fear the consequences of disobedience when surrounded by the abundance of blessings. It's that sense of caution, that often slips away when life is going well. Think about it. The very comforts we cherish, health, wealth, peace of mind, can sort of lull us into forgetting where it all comes from. We lose that critical vigilance that anchors us to our faith, to gratitude. And really that forgetting, that distance, it is what precedes some of the most devastating spiritual consequences. Historically speaking, civilizations faced this. When prosperity surged, moral awareness often declined. It's like the ancient Romans who, at the height of their empire, became entangled in indulgence, neglecting their virtues. Or even in modern times, how easily societies, nations even, lose touch with humility when material gains skyrocket. But it isn't just about societies, is it? It's about us as individuals too. What habits do we personally cultivate to remain grounded in gratitude? Do we, pause enough amidst our busy schedules to reflect on these blessings, whether it's the love of family, health, or stability? Because let's be honest, without conscious awareness, complacency kind of sneaks in, doesn't it? Perhaps this is why Imam Ali's warning resonates across centuries. Blessings aren't just gifts, they're tests of character, demanding vigilance. As we reflect on our own abundance, let's ask ourselves, what practices, what rituals help us actively safeguard against this spiritual drift? And that's the challenge, really. Finding ways to integrate gratitude into our daily lives, in ways that keep us grounded, even as blessings multiply around us. When we talk about blessings, health, stability, the love of our families, it's easy to see them as constants, right? But they're not really. You kind of have to remind yourself that they're more fleeting than we might want to admit. One moment you're taking a deep breath without a second thought. The next, you're struggling with the weight of things you never expected. And here's something I think about often. Blessings as tests. Doesn't it seem that the more we're given, the more it asks from us in return? It's this subtle but steady demand, not just to acknowledge these gifts, but to weave gratitude into the fabric of our being. It's not simply about saying thank you or ticking a box. It's about, living with a kind of deep awareness of the source of those blessings. I'll share a quick story from my own journey. A few years back, I worked with a leader. You'd call him wildly successful. By any material measure, he had it all. But then during a personal crisis, he kind of realised, almost out of nowhere, how much he had overlooked what really mattered. There were all these privileges and positions he'd enjoyed for years, without even a second glance. The shift for him came when he stopped and started naming them, one by one. It was transformative watching that happen. What sticks with me isn't just his change, but the realisation that those moments of crisis, difficult as they are, often serve as reminders of what gratitude really means. They get us back to that core awareness, where blessings aren't just like background noise, but vivid affirmations of something greater. And so it's worth asking ourselves, do we need to wait for those hard moments to reflect? Or can we even now take the time to notice and deeply appreciate what we've been given? Because that's where gratitude lives, in that quiet space of recognition, long before complacency sneaks in. It's this constant effort, remaining present to all that surrounds us. Not as a burden, but as a way to align more closely with this test of faith we're navigating every day. So let's dive deeper into this. Isn't it fascinating how easily pride can weave its way into our lives during times of plenty? We don't often notice it at first. It starts small, a sense of accomplishment, maybe even entitlement. And before we realise it, we've distanced ourselves from the source of those blessings. That detachment, it's subtle, but it's so powerful. It reminds me of something. Really, how often do we equate gratitude only with the things we lack and finally receive? But what about the things we've always had? Do we pause enough to notice the safety in a single breath, the steadiness of a warm home, or even the unspoken kindness in someone's daily presence? And that's, I think, the real challenge. Sustaining that awareness takes effort. Arrogance and complacency, they thrive in the absence of reflection. It's why mindfulness at all stages of life, whether we're struggling or flourishing, is not just a nice to have, it's essential. Because let's be honest, staying grounded when everything's smoothly rolling along, it's harder than it seems, isn't it? Think about the moral teachings from Imam Ali's wisdom here. They ask us, almost demand us, to look inward. Can we hold on to gratitude, real, deep gratitude, when life feels abundant? Or do we only remember its weight when something is taken away? It's a tough question, but it's one worth sitting with, don't you think? And maybe, just maybe, that's what life itself is teaching us. That blessings, whether they arrive quietly or with grandeur, aren't permanent fixtures. They're fleeting gifts, and in some ways, like a mirror, showing us where our hearts truly stand. So here's where we leave it. Gratitude, after all, isn't just in the moments when life teaches us lessons. It's in the constant, deliberate act of seeing those lessons, of recognizing the silent generosity of existence itself and responding with humility again and again. And on that note, that's all for today. It's been great exploring these ideas with you, and I hope this inspires a little more reflection in the quieter moments ahead. Until next time, take care.